talking about a lot of these things while we were out there. And in Hollywood, where we worked hand in hand for 13, 14-hour days, 5 days in a row, getting ready for the film and the party after the star ceremonies.
Can you talk a little bit about your beginnings with the foundation, the Rod Serling Foundation, in the mid-'80s?
Yeah, in 1986, I was going through a really hard time, health-wise, but my mom was dying of cancer, and it was just a matter of days. And reading the newspaper, I saw a little article, probably G. Gray, saying that tomorrow they're dedicating a New York State historic marker to Rod Serling in front of the Binghamton High School. So I said to Dad, let's go to that, just get our mind off things. And so we went, and I swear there was not more than 6 people there in attendance. That would have been Helen Foley, her sister Norma Foley Lawson, and her sister Doris Bill Foley. And I'm not even sure Sybil Goldenberg was there, but she could have been. Jules Levitt was there. And I don't honestly remember anybody else. And I said, forgetting that it's Rod, forgetting it's the high school, this is a New York State historic marker. They don't just put these in front of a school for no reason at all. There had to be merit according to state value to draw people in to see that marker. And yet nobody showed up. So we introduced ourselves to Helen, and I told her I was a fan and everything. And she told me about the foundation and says, we're having a meeting such and such a date, please come. So I went to the first meeting, I think my dad did too. And I liked the group. It was a party atmosphere, but yet with Helen at the helm, there was an agenda. And even though there wasn't too many people doing anything towards their goals, they had goals that I liked. And so she invited me to join, and I did. And started going to monthly meetings, and within 2 or 3 months, their right-hand man, Robert Rosenbaum, moved to Israel. So he wasn't around anymore to do the things that they needed done. And he was a very hard worker and is responsible for the foreman's limit. So he's really made a thing there for the community, and we're grateful. But then I came up with idea after idea after idea, and you remember, now we're talking June, July, and by January I'm involved like 5 meetings, and I'm elected president over people that have been there 3 years, never missed a meeting, and wanted to be president. So from day one, there was a lot of resentment towards me from 2 or 3 specific people that I beat out in that election. And I think the reason the people voted for me is because of my ideas, and by being disabled, I had something nobody else had, that's time. I wasn't limited.
What about you? Were you younger than most of the people who were expected to be president?
Jules, I'm guessing, is about my own age, Jules Levitt. And everybody else, Yvonne Gable, maybe 5 years older than me, had a couple of young kids. And she's the one that I beat out, and there was so much resentment. And I don't know why. I think later on, no, I don't think she ever did become. I think she became vice president. I'm not sure on that. But I didn't run for that. I mean, everybody says you got to be president because you've got all these ideas and you will implement them and you will do this and you will delegate people to do this with you. And like any other group, you delegate people, you still end up doing 90% of it yourself, which I'm sure you know. Although you've got some good right-hand people here with you, and you're fortunate. But you got to remember, a lot of people that we discussed the list of the early membership, the 2 years before me, were all in their 60s already, and here I am, 30 years old. So there was a big age difference, and they had to rely on the youth to push forward and keep things going. So we did a lot of things in those early years. The film festivals were strictly my ideas, basically because that was my forte. I was in the height of my buying and selling of films at that point. So I had access and found a lot of materials that none of the other Serling archives had at that point, and still don't in some respects. So we did the film festivals. They were very well received. I issued my own press releases. I typed them, I Xeroxed them, and I drove every day. Yes, I would mail it a week early, but I drove every day. If there was an event at noon, I was there at 8 o'clock in the morning to hand deliver these to the news people I wanted on the air, and they gave us good treatment. And Channel 40 and specifics, I would even do exclusives with because they gave us better coverage than Channel 12 for whatever reason, I don't know. But they did. Red Catlin was wonderful to the foundation. And yet, with all the media we had, stuff just wasn't attended. And you're running into that now with your Twilight Zone here, your monthly thing, 15, 17 people. Now granted, they're on TV every night, and granted, you can go buy the DVDs, but it's still not the same as getting together with a group of fans in a nice theater and reminiscing and having a good time. So why they're not attended more, I don't know. But as we get involved more together, I'm hoping to steer you back to a film festival, and let's do it right the way I did it before. Not that I want to do it, but I will help get the materials and do that. And you know, it's more fun when you see 300 people show up to your event with money in hand to get in, which, you know, isn't going in anybody's pocket. It's just propelling the collections further and further than just, you know, 15 people coming for free to sit there and watch something they've seen. You know, you got to get these rarities out there for them to see again, that they can't go to the DVD set and buy, and they can't turn the television on and buy, and some of the stuff that they can't go to any archives and find either. And I said, this is what, you know, is going to get you more press for your goals, and get the media back on our side, because you got to realize the foundation was 84, okay, and the goals have not been met yet. And I dropped out in 92, 93, health reasons, politics, whatever. They were just stymied. We were getting nowheres, and still they're getting nowheres. And the stamp is one of the issues that I'm glad to hear is back on fire and trying to get the stamp again around SERLING'S stamp. So maybe the media's backed off because nothing's being done. One of the things that aggravated the hell out of the foundation members was the reluctance to name the forum the Rod Serling Performing Arts Center. And did we have fights and battles and politics in Binghamton? I mean, I guess probably every city, but yeah, it seems worse here, and I don't know why. I mean, you look at the TV, and you see somebody that had a minor part on one sitcom 30 years ago. They got streets named after them and hospitals and all kinds of stuff. And yet Rod, with his creative genius, Twilight Zone is only beaten syndication worldwide by I Love Lucy. I mean, it comes in second continually year after year after year, and Honeymooners third. I mean, that's pretty darn good company to be in, and to be up to those numbers after all of these years. And so there's interest in him, in his works, and what we've got to do is focus on the early creative genius works and get those known too. So, yeah, I want to help you all I can, get the media back on board and get things rolling.
Beautiful.